Patrick Mahomes is ahead of the curve and on a trajectory to surpass Tom Brady and really any other NFL legend in GOAT status. Now, we are not saying by any stretch of the imagination that he is already, but we are going to take a look at where he is now in comparison to Brady and others. But there is a reason that he does make $500 million. So stick around to learn some stunning facts about the newly crowned 2023 Super Bowl champion, as it will make you rethink it all. Is it too soon to say that Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT? Comparing him to the longest tenured championship quarterback, Tom Brady, the younger Mahomes may be very much in the running. After all, he's quickly becoming the biggest name in football culture, setting many NFL records and racking up unbelievable stats since he entered the league. I mean, sure, Brady's 20 years of commanding play are unparalleled, but it seems Mahomes is well on his way toward superseding them as he continues to amaze us with surprising plays and wins. While there is still much to be seen of the young upstart QB, his current track record definitely speaks for itself. Maybe Brady should watch out. Mahomes might just be unstoppable. Now, Patty Mahomes in 6 years has 2 Super Bowl MVPs and 2 regular season MVPs, and he has won 2 Super Bowls. But really, it's 5 years because he wasn't a starter his first year. Who else has done that? Nobody. But Brady is right there when comparing the first 5 seasons in Super Bowls because Brady has 3 in that time. But that doesn't matter much in this conversation, and we will explain why in a little bit. But we have to look at the individual. Joe Montana didn't win an MVP until year 11 in the NFL. Tom Brady didn't win an MVP until year 7 and year 11. Both legends in their 30s for their first MVP. Mahomes is 27 and already has 2 of those. Oh, and he had 2 Super Bowl MVPs as we mentioned before. He is 2 for 2 in Super Bowls for Super Bowl MVP. So let's look at that for a moment in regards to the legends. Super Bowl MVPs. In these first 2 Super Bowls, Tom Brady was the MVP in only 1. Although he won the Super Bowl MVP twice like Mahomes in the first 6 years, he was 2 for 3 in the Super Bowl at winning its highest honor. In the first 2 Super Bowls, Terry Bradshaw was not the MVP. Let's add in that Mahomes led the league in passing twice. 2 5,000-yard passing seasons, 2 first-time All-Pro already, when most guys that we are talking about were not All-Pro at this point in their careers. It is important to note in the first 6 years of play, Brady only made All-Pro second team. The individual matters in these conversations, but the team stats matter as well to help us figure out the player that assumes the name of the GOAT. So let's take a look at the help of Brady's teams that he had in comparison to Mahomes. Looking at a combined EPA, which is expected points added on defense and special teams, Tom Brady's teams ranked 2nd, Patrick Mahomes' teams ranked 27th. Over Tom Brady's first 6 seasons, he only threw over 25-plus yard passes 144 times. Mahomes has already thrown 243 passes over 25-plus yards. So we are saying that Patrick Mahomes individually is ahead of the curve to become the best of all time. Simply put, he is the best quarterback we have ever seen at his age. Is that statement fair enough? Let us know what you think about that down in the comments, as we want to hear if you agree or disagree. And let's just use the eye test. Mahomes has a versatility of throws that we have never seen and can't even name. He passes from every position, sidearm, overhand, and everything in between, all while on the run, dropped back in the pocket. I mean, that combined with the fact that the man has the athleticism and solid quarterback fundamentals makes him incomparable to anyone. One huge point that we have to mention is that as a starter, Mahomes has gotten to the conference championship every year. Yes, this is a team statistic yet again, but we have to say that is unfathomable. They are tied for conference championships in their first 6 years with 3 apiece. With less help, Mahomes has done more in a shorter period of time. So let's look at the regular season records in their first 6 years. Brady went 58-20, which is outstanding. But Mahomes somehow topped him with a record of 64-16. Are we beginning to connect the dots yet? Passing yards? Not even close. Brady, 18,035. Mahomes, 24,241. And finally, let's look at the rest of the tape. Touchdown passes, Brady 123, Mahomes 192. Completion percentage, Brady 61.9%, Mahomes 66.3%. Interceptions, Brady 66, Mahomes 49. Even in a more pass-heavy modern NFL era and Brady's early Patriots teams also being led by star-studded defenses as opposed to Mahomes' high-octane offenses in Kansas City, but as you can see above in accuracy, Mahomes has the advantage. Brady was the most dominant player for 2 decades, while Mahomes is just establishing himself now in a big way. Yes, it is much less of a sample size, but what we see is undeniable. Tom Brady has won 5 Super Bowl MVPs, Joe Montana 3, a couple at 2, while most have won it only once. Beating 5 Super Bowl MVPs will be hard even for Mahomes. Brady, who just announced his retirement from the NFL, has an unparalleled resume with 7 Super Bowl titles to his name, leaving Mahomes well behind him in the current day. However, it took Brady more than 2 decades to earn his status as football's greatest, which reinvigorates the question, is Mahomes on a Brady-like trajectory through his first 6 seasons in the league? Now, we laid it all out as best we could, but what variables do you see making a difference that we haven't mentioned? Please go into the comments and let us know who is your GOAT. The big intangible that they both have in common? Poise, comebacks, Super Bowl comebacks in particular. Tom Brady engineered 2 double-digit comebacks in his long-storied Super Bowl career. The one epic rally from 28-3 down in Super Bowl 51 to beat Atlanta 34-28 in overtime, and 1 double-digit comeback against the Seahawks in Super Bowl 49. The only other player to do that? Well, yep, that's right, you guessed it, Patrick Mahomes. In 2 Super Bowl appearances only, rallied from 10 points down in both. One at halftime where he just overcame the Eagles at the half by a margin of 10 points, and one being down 10 in the 4th quarter. They did that versus San Francisco. Both wins proved that Patrick Mahomes' mettle and fortitude. Before the 4 double-digit comebacks by Brady and Mahomes as in the past 9 Super Bowls, no team had ever rallied from at least 10 points down in the second half to win a Super Bowl. Ever since arriving on the NFL scene, young quarterback Patrick Mahomes has quickly established himself as one of the absolute best passers in football. At 27 years old, he is already being talked about as one of the all-time greats by the all-time greats. What made it all the more hilarious was when he confidently declared that he was gunning to make a run at Tom Brady's record. His tongue-in-cheek remark that you can ask me when I'm like 38 years old illustrates just how far he is from catching the GOAT. We need a larger sample size to truly pick the GOAT at this point. But Patrick's intentions are very clear based on this recent quote from Mahomes. I'm trying to catch Tom. One thing is for sure, if Mahomes wants to become the greatest quarterback ever, you're not going to want to miss what his next 15 seasons have in store.